Volkswagen's Golf is the family hatchback against which all others are judged, and never more so than in this smarter, more sophisticated, improved 7th generation guise, where it's cleverer and classier than ever before. If you're shopping in this segment, you might be asking yourself why you should buy one. But perhaps the more pertinent question is whether there's really any reason why you shouldn't.
Nothing about the driving experience has changed with this improved 7th generation Golf, but then you could argue, as Volkswagen does, that nothing really needed to. Now there's a polish to this car that's evident not only in the way it's built, the way it looks, and the quality of its interior fittings, but also in the way it drives. Get used to your Golf and you'll find that progress can be effortless thanks to a combination of stability, poise and control that makes journey times shrink rapidly. That'll be evident whichever power plant you choose. Engines across the range now available with the option of a more sophisticated 7-speed DSG auto gearbox that offers quicker response and greater efficiency than the 6-speed unit it replaces. As before, the model lineup has been effectively split in half by Volkswagen's decision to adopt two quite different rear suspension systems across the range. Lower order engines like the 115 PS 1.6 litre TDI diesel and the 3-cylinder 1 litre petrol unit we're trying here in 110 PS form get a relatively unsophisticated torsion beam suspension setup. Go for the new 1.5 litre TSI Evo petrol engine, 2 litre TDI diesels, or one of the 2 litre TSI petrol units used in the uprated GTI and Golf R models, and you'll get a more sophisticated multi-link rear suspension setup that provides an exemplary ride and handling balance. Across the range, efficiency is well up to class standards. This 110 PS 1 litre TSI unit, for example, manages 58.9 mpg on the combined cycle and 109 grams per kilometre of CO2. For ultimate frugality, though, you'll need one of the electrified Golf models. We highly rate the clever GTE plug-in hybrid, but it's now also worth looking at the full electric e-Golf, which gets a higher capacity battery and has increased its operating range to as much as 186 miles. It's a Golf. You don't need us to tell you that. This is one of those cars that almost everyone recognises. What is less likely is that your friends and neighbours will pick up on the fact that you've bought into the revised version of this 7th generation model. The changes that distinguish this improved design are, after all, extremely subtle and intentionally so to preserve the residual values of the previous version. The design of this car has been painstakingly evolved over more than 40 years, and Volkswagen has no intention of dramatically changing it now. Now, if you're familiar with the original version of this Mark 7 model, you won't find the interior to be very different, which is a very good thing indeed, because that design set fresh ergonomic standards in this segment that many rivals are still struggling to match. Now, to further underline this model's superiority in that regard, Volkswagen has added new trim panels to the centre console and the doors and smartened up the upholstery. But what you're more likely to notice is this bigger centre dash infotainment screen. Now, previously you only got an 8-inch monitor as large as this one if you pushed the boat out with one of the costly premium navigation packages. Now a display of this size is standard across the range, upgraded here to the Discover navigation system that's fitted to plusher variants and which is optional lower down the range. So let's take a seat in the rear. Those of you already familiar with the Mark 7 Golf will know that this 7th generation model grew quite significantly in size over its predecessor, with benefits back here in both head and legroom. As a result, this remains one of the more spacious rear seat areas in the segment. So let's finish this segment by taking a look in the boot, the catch for which is, as usual, activated by pushing this centre tailgate badge. Your Volkswagen salesperson may well begin to reference the fact that the 380 litre capacity here is 64 litres more than you get in a rival Ford Focus. Freeing up more cargo capacity is easier to do than it would be in that rival Focus, where you've got the faff of having to pull up the rear seat cushion before you can push forward the rear seat backs. Here, you just push forward to the 60-40 split backrests and they fold almost completely flat, creating a cargo area that's 1,270 litres in size. In the words of a previous Volkswagen Group chairman, the only mistake a Golf can really make is to stop being a Golf, a failing you can never level at this improved 7th generation model. All the reasons you might want to buy one are satisfied here. So there are classy looks, a meticulously crafted cabin, and all the quality you'd expect from the Western Hemisphere's most recognised and most desirable family hatch. For nearly half a century, this car has been a benchmark in the segment it originally helped to create. Nothing's changed in that regard, and it probably never will.